the country.
You bet. We need affordable healthcare in this country. We need to make sure that we have quality healthcare. We're always improving the quality and decreasing the cost of healthcare, making sure that everyone has access to healthcare in this state. And that's why I've introduced legislation to protect people who have a pre-existing conditions, to make sure to make sure that they have coverage for pre-existing conditions. My bill would require that coverage and make sure that that takes place. I've been working to create patient-centered healthcare, to make sure that the patients and their doctors are in charge of their healthcare, not Dr. Pelosi, not Dr. Schumer, not Dr. Hickenlooper, but making sure that we have individuals and their doctor in charge of healthcare while we reduce the cost of healthcare. I've been working to make sure that we have risk pools that drive down the cost of health insurance, making sure that we're allowing people to work across state lines for health insurance, allowing businesses to pool together for association health plans, to make sure that we have the right kind of policies in place. I worked with Governor Polis in Colorado to get a waiver issued from the federal government to help drive down the cost of Colorado health insurance. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. Well, we all know what happens with government-run healthcare. Eventually, everything is run by the government. That's going to hurt and destroy our rural hospitals. There have been many reports that show his government-run healthcare idea would be devastating to rural healthcare. And if you destroy rural healthcare, then that's less access to healthcare across the state of Colorado, not more. It's very clear that John Hickenlooper wants to eliminate Obamacare in favor of government-run healthcare. I just think that's wrong. I believe we have to make sure we have affordable insurance that people can get on their terms instead of the terms of the government. Look, that's been a state issue, I think, that they've worked on. We need to make sure that we're enforcing the laws that we have and protecting communities. I've supported efforts to research what's happening when it comes to our laws being broken. I've supported efforts to make sure that we have better systems going forward of protecting our communities on watch lists and others. We can always do a better job of that. I'm going to support our rights and support our Constitution, but certainly want to make sure that we're protecting our citizens as well. Yeah, I've worked hard across the aisle to make sure that we have an immigration system that works for our country and our state. Look, our state has been made stronger through immigration. Our families, most of us came here from somewhere else, and I believe that if my wife and I were born anywhere around the world, that we would do everything we could to bring our family to the United States and to Colorado. And so we have to have a system that recognizes that. We need to have laws enforced, but we need to make sure that we have an immigration system that works to meet the needs of people around the globe, the needs of our country, and the ability to attract the best and brightest around the globe into the United States. It's why I sponsored legislation with Senator Bennett that we actually did get voted on the floor. It came very close to passing. That would have fixed our DREAM Act. It would have actually put a path to citizenship forward for dreamers across this country. It would have fixed our border security issues. It would have fixed some issues relating to family migration. That was a good bipartisan proposal. In fact, I'm the only Republican who voted for every pro-immigration legislation that passed, that made it to the floor of the Senate when we had a week's worth of immigration debate. I led on the bills, I voted for them, and I continue to support common sense immigration reform. Look, we need a guest worker program in this country as well. For our agriculture, we need ways for doctors to come into this country, for engineers to be able to come into this country, and to make sure that we have that that meets the needs and the ideals of our country. A nation of laws, but a nation of people made better, empowered through immigration. Yeah, I would ask him, what's changed? Why are you different? Why do you no longer support the 230,000 jobs in oil and gas? Why do you want to have government take over healthcare and make it more expensive and less accessible to the people of Colorado? Why do you no longer support the freedoms of letting us earn more of our own dollars and keeping it, investing it the way we want to?